Greetings, my name is Odin from the Odin's Musings YouTube channel, and I'm here on behalf of Aura Crystals. Today I'm going to be talking about the Twisted Tubular Herringbone rope. This is one step above the regular tubular herringbone, where we create a twist in the strands and colors to form this intricate design. Now, if you're not familiar with the standard tubular herringbone, I recommend rewatching our video so you can learn how to do that process, as the techniques we go over in that lesson are going to be used repeatedly in this project. For this lesson, we're going to be using 3 contrasting colors of size 11 Delica beads, so that it showcases the pattern and design appropriately. To make this into a finished piece of jewelry, you will also need a clasp of your choice. In my case, that is a lobster claw and a jump ring. And you will also need 2 accent beads in between 4 and 6 millimeters size. I'm using 2 4mm bicones to put on the ends of my piece. I am also using a D-weight white Nymo as my thread. Feel free to use whatever you are comfortable with. A 6 to 8 pound test Fireline is also appropriate. I am also using a size 12 beading needle, but feel free to use whatever size you are most comfortable with. Be sure to check down in the description box for the full materials list and for links to where you can purchase supplies. And with all that being said, let us get started. Like with any herringbone stitch, we're going to start off with a base of ladder stitch in order to anchor our herringbone in place. So I'm going to start off by threading on 2 color A's and pass that down, leaving about a 6 to 8 inch tail so that I can anchor the clasp on this side. Then I'm going to separate the beads and pass back up through the first bead, so that when I pull tight, the second bead sits right next to it. I'm going to pass my needle down through the second bead in order to set up for my next stitch. I'm going to add 1 color B, go around, since the thread is going down, I'm going to pass my needle down through the second bead to anchor bead number 3. I'm going to go up bead number 3, add on 1 more color B, and since now my thread is going up, I'm going to wrap around and thread up to attach bead number 4. I'm going to go down bead number 4, add on 1 color C, go down bead number 4 to anchor bead number 5. Go up bead number 5, add 1 more color C and go up bead number 5. Finish off by going down bead number 6. And this creates my base strip for my herringbone stitch. I need to make a ring so that I can form a tubular herringbone. From bead number 6, I'm just going to pass up all the way back to bead number 1, so that when I pull through, we start to form a ring. Now I'm going to finish by connecting the gap on top and pass back through bead number 6, so that we have a thread bridge there, and the beads are seamlessly joined. I'm just going to pass back up through bead number 1 to begin my herringbone stitch. So to do that, I'm going to add 2 color A's, go down the next color A, so that we form our herringbone, rotate and go up color B, add on 2 color B's and go down the next color B. Rotate and go up the color C, add on 2 color C's, and pass down the next color C. To step up, we're going to rotate and pass up through 2 color A's, so that we would have completed our first stitch. I'm going to add 2 A's, go down the next A, but just on the second row. We're done with the first row. Go up the next B, add on 2 B's, go down the next B just on the second row, rotate and go up the next C, but just the second row, add on 2 C's and go down the second row of the next C, step up by traveling through 2 color A's. Repeat for 2 more rows so that we have a total of 4 herringbone stitches, and then we can begin the twisted form. So now that I have my basic stitches, we're going to do something different in order to begin our twist. So starting from a new row, I'm going to add 2 color A's, and I'm going to go down the next color A, just like normal, just the first row. Then, on my color B row, I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3 beads. From those 3 beads, I'm going to jump all the way up and start my twist. This is going to make the tines very separated, and if your thread tension is really tight, you're going to need to pull a bit harder in order to wedge the next column over. But that is how we start. So, moving on to my next row, I'm going to add my 2 color Bs, go down 1 color B, then we move over to column C and count 1, 2, 3, go up 3 from the top to wrench this column over to the side. For column C, I'm going to do the same, add 2 beads, go down the first bead on the next column, but we have to step up with this one since there is an extra row on column A. So instead of 3, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. This accounts for the row that we've just added. So I'm going to go up 4 beads to wrench color C to the side. And now you'll notice the tines are kind of askew. They want to face in a spirally direction. And this is how we continue our twisted rope. So once again, adding on 2 beads, going down 1 bead on the next row, counting down from the top, 1, 2, 3. Go up 3 beads to anchor the column over, to kind of push it to the side. Next row, add on 2 beads, go down 1 bead, move up 1, 2, 3 beads from column C, add on 2 C's, go down 1 C, but we need to step up here and go up 4 beads instead. And that is how we begin our spiral. It's the same exact steps as regular tubular herringbone, except you're just going down further and moving things to the side. So in normal tubular herringbone, you just go down 1 and up 1 for all rows except the last one, and then you go in the last bead when you step up, you go down 1, up 2. In twisted, you go down 1, up 3 for the first 2 rows, and then on the very last one, you go down 1, up 4. So repeat in this manner until you have a good length and grasp of the stitch, and then I can show you how to end threads and continue on. So this is what you've ended up once you progress for a little bit. A very nice spiral going around a singular rope that pinches off towards the other side. Now ending your threads is similar to a straight tubular herringbone, but you need to do a little bit more in order to meet further ends. So, I have just ended a row. This is especially important with twisted tubular herringbone, to end a completed row so that you can tell where exactly you've been. So I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to pass down through several beads until I am basically meeting other columns and not at the separated points. So I'm going to go down a little bit further so that I don't really have to worry about where I am. Then I'm going to go back up about 4 beads. I'm going to cross over to the next column and meet the same bead and go down 4 more beads. Then I'm going to turn around and meet the next column and go up 4 more beads. I can keep going up and down for a few more rounds if I feel like it, but just going up 4 columns across is just fine. So I'm going to clip my thread here. Now adding on a new thread takes a little bit of coordination. We want to end up going up the color A column on the left side, so we work this way and around again. So I need to come back a few columns in order to be in the same place that I started from. So basically I want to go up, down, up, down. So I'm going to start on my color B on the second thread path, I'm going to pull that down, leaving a small tail in case things slip out. Then I'm going to move to the next column and go 4 beads up. I'm going to pull down a little bit so I don't have to worry too much about cutting off the tails. I'm going to move over to the next column and go down another 4 beads. Then I'm going to move to the first column on my A stripe, and I'm going to go all the way up. And then I just continue up until I'm at the very top of my work. And from here, I'm ready to continue my new row. Like so. All the way around until this thread is ended. Now, in order to attach a clasp on this, we need to do a little bit of preparation so that we can purse these ends together. You see how wide and split they are compared to the other side, which is nice and neat. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop doing twisted tubular herringbone and work into a transition to regular tubular herringbone and finally back into a ladder stitch. So my thread is currently coming out from a new row, and I'm just going to work in a couple rows of regular tubular herringbone. So I'm going to add in my 2 color A's. I'm only going to go down 1, and then I'm going to go up 1 over here on color B. I'm going to move that over, and it kind of forces the bead closer. Do it again, add 2 color B's, go down 1, and then up 1, the topmost one, on color C. Add 2 color C's, go down 1, and since we're stepping up, we actually need to go up through 2 beads on the column A. I'm going to do that once more just to kind of purse everything together because you can kind of see how the thread bridges are really exposed. Add on 2 A's, go down 1 bead, go up 1 bead. Force it together, add on 2 B's, down 1, up 1. Add on 2 C's, down 1, up 2 since we're stepping up. Add on 1 more row like this, and then we'll work on stitching it together in the ladder stitch. In order to zip these up even further, we're going to do a herringbone stitch combined with a ladder stitch so that we act basically like we're not adding any beads. So right now I'm coming out of my column A. I'm just going to go immediately down the next column. I'm going to go up 1 bead on the column B. Then I'm going to pass backwards to close the gap with a thread bridge, like so. I'm going to go up the B, rotate and go down the next B, go up the C, go backwards and pick up the previous B, going downwards, back up the C, down the next C, up the first A, back down the last C, and finally up the first A. Don't stress too much if it doesn't look too neat. Your accent bead is going to cover it, and it's only 1 row, so it doesn't need to look too neat. And now we're ready to add our clasp. So my thread is coming out of the column A. I'm going to add my accent bead in half of my clasp. I'm going to pull that down, then go back through my accent bead, and go down the next color A as if we have made a herringbone stitch. Then I'm going to rotate and go up the column B. I'm going to pick up the accent bead, pass through the clasp, go back down the accent bead, and then go through the second color B. Same thing with column C. We're going to go up through the accent bead, through the clasp, back down the accent bead, and through the last color C. You can then choose to reinforce by going up the column A, going up the accent bead, through the clasp, down the accent bead, and then go down the next color A, move over to column B, do the same thing, up, through, down the second color B, and also for color C. Then once that is done, you can go down and end your threads just like normal and clip your threads short. And don't forget to do it on the other side. And that is it for the Twisted Tubular Herringbone. This is a really fun stitch. It's definitely one of my personal favorites. And once you get comfortable with this, you can kind of play with the slope of the twist. If you want a nice looser spiral, you can go up through 2 beads instead of 3, which makes the twist less prominent. Or if you want a challenge, you can go through 4 beads instead of 3 to make it much tighter and a stiffer weave. But 3 is generally a good average to start out with. And this offers so many color variations. You can even do it where you have working with only 2 colors instead of 3. So you add 2 rows of color A and then only 1 row of color B, and you got kind of like a peppermint look to it. So, this is a very fun weave, and I hope you try it out. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, and I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check down in the description box for the full materials list, as well as links to where you can purchase your supplies. And while you're down there, feel free to subscribe to RR Crystals for more tutorial updates and design ideas. And if you'd like to see more of my work, feel free to check me out at Odin's Musings right here on YouTube and at odinsbeadhall.com.